In the fight with Haku, Naruto sacrificed himself for Sasuke. Why would you save me, dope? Sasuke. Even though I don't like you, we are teammates. We have to look out for each other. Naruto, so this is how I die. I hope the next life will not be as hard as this one. Naruto thought before he closed his eyes. Naruto Sasuke. Seeing that Sasuke was distracted, Haku took the opportunity to put Sasuke also in a near-death state. I should go help Zabuza-sama now. Haku thought with Naruto. Tmshurm. Wake up, Tmshurm, a voice said. Who is Tmshurm? Naruto thought before he woke up. Naruto woke to see he was in a giant barren landscape of ice with no discernible features but a moon. With him there was an ice dragon. Who are you, Naruto? Remember Tmshurm. Remember the dragon. Why is it calling me Toshirm? Tmshurm. That name, I feel like I know that name. Naruto thought suddenly his mind was filled memories of a previous life. Naruto clutched his head as he felt intense pain from recalling the memories. Reincarnation, Naruto. Nice to see you again, Toshirm-sama. Reincarnation you too. Naruto smiled. In the real world, Haku was about to cancel her mirror technique. Suddenly a blue aura exploded from Naruto's body. A large amount of spirit pressure was being released. When people are protecting someone truly precious to them, they truly can become as strong as they need to be. Is that really the case? Haku thought as she felt the intense pressure. What is this intense pressure? And that blue aura? Zabuza thought. Zabuza was in a bit of stalemate with Kakashi, who was blocking his sword with kunes. I have to hurry and beat him. So I can help those two. Kakashi thought Tazuna and Sakura weren't faring so well. They felt like passing out from the pressure. Few seconds later the aura faded and the pressure disappeared. Haku saw Naruto's new appearance. The sword? Where did he get that? Haku thought. Naruto, you shouldn't be moving with your injuries. Haku, it's fine, Haku. You put me in a near-death state like you did with Zabuza, didn't you? Naruto, yes. Haku. That's naive of you. Sparing the enemy. That is going to get you killed one day. Naruto, surrender. Naruto, I don't want to hurt you further. Haku. Naruto picked up Sasuke and Flash stepped outside the Dome of Mirrors. He put Sasuke next to Sakura and returned to the Dome of Mirrors. Naruto, please reconsider. Haku. Naruto didn't answer her. He untied his Zanpakuto. He placed the tip of his sword on the ground. Suddenly a bunch of ice spikes appeared from the ground. Haku's mirrors got destroyed. Haku was quick enough to create another mirror outside the dome to escape. He also has ice release. Haku thought. Haku? Zabuza said as he saw the destruction of the ice dome. Your fight is with me, Zabuza. Kakashi said, trying to strike him with a lightning-enhanced kunes. Zabuza blocked it. TSK. Zabuza. Naruto appeared in front of Haku. Give up, Haku. You can't defeat me, Naruto. Didn't you say it's naive to spare your opponents? Go ahead, kill me. Haku. What the hell is going? You aren't finished yet, Zabuza. Everyone looked to see a short fat guy surrounded by his goons. Kakashi looked at him. Who are you? He asked. Me? I'm Gato and these fine men next to me are my personal warriors. Said Gato, indicating the 100 or so men standing around him. Gato, what are you doing here, Zabuza? Just here to kill you all. Gato. You bastard, you never planned to pay us. Zabuza, yes, and now it is time for you to die. Gato said as he ordered his men to attack. Zabuza was about to rush at them. Naruto appeared next to him. Stay out of this. Naruto. Why should I do that, kid? Zabuza. Naruto released his Ryatsu on Zabuza. This pressure, it was him who released it. Zabuza thought. Zabuza backed down. Naruto, what is going on? Why do you look like that? Kakashi, we can discuss that later. Kakashi. Naruto. Naruto walked towards the bandits. The bandits ran towards him. Before they could reach Naruto. Sit upon the frozen heavens, Reincarnation. Naruto. As Naruto said the release command, a three-headed dragon appeared. The dragon blasted the bandits with ice. The bandits all got frozen. Where did Naruto get this power from? Kakashi thought, the brat also can use ice release. Zabuza thought, shocked as Gato saw the state of his men. He ran. Naruto. Flash stepped in front of him before he could escape. Wait. Don't kill me, I'll give you anything you want. Money, girls, or anything else. Gato pleaded. Give me all your money and I will spare you, said Naruto. Gato told Naruto where all his money was. And the combinations to all his safes. Nice doing business with you. Naruto said before he stabbed Gato. We made a deal, Gato. Fool, you can't trust a stranger to keep his word. Naruto said before freezing Gato. The kid is ruthless, Zabuza thought. Ice release. Where did he get that power from? Kakashi thought. Inari arrived with all the villagers behind him. Naruto, no, you said a hero shows up at the last minute, but you didn't really leave us with much. Inari said as he saw the frozen Gato and goons. A hero should at least arrive early enough to get a piece of the action. Naruto. Inari just chuckled. Well, Tazuna, you heard where Gato's money is. and the combinations of his safes. Use that money to rebuild Wave and to give us the proper payment for this mission. Naruto, thanks kid. Tazuna. Sakura cried over Sasuke's body, believing him to be dead, but within a few minutes he rose. Sakura, it's hard to breathe with you leaning on me like that. He called out in a rather raspy tone. She hugged him a little tighter before letting him up. Sakura, is Naruto alive? He asked. Yes he is. Sakura. Sasuke was relieved to hear this. Brad, I have request. Please help me free my village from Yagura's reign. Zabuza said, bowing his head. Yagura is dead. Kakashi. What? Zabuza said, shocked. After his death, mate Terumi became the Mizukage. Kakashi, so she became Mizukage. It looks like we can get a pardon. Well anyway, let's go. Haku, Zabuza said, walking. Naruto, use your strength to protect those you love. Haku said before kissing on him the forehead. He blushed. Haku chuckled as she saw this. Let's meet again, Naruto. Haku said before running to Zabuza. Naruto used his Reiatsu to destroy Gato and his goons' frozen bodies. Naruto, let's have a long chat. Kakashi. Maybe later. Naruto said before passing out. Time skip. Naruto and Sasuke are recovered from their injuries. Kakashi asked him about the changes. Naruto refused to answer his questions. He created a clone to help Tazuna out, so that he could train. The bridge was finished and Team 7 were just about to head back to the Leaf Village. Before they left, Inari spoke. Eyes come back real soon, okay? Maybe sometime in the future, said Naruto. As they were leaving, the villagers begun to ask about the name of the bridge before Tazuna spoke, smiling at Naruto moving away in the distance. We will call it the Great Naruto Bridge. Tsunami chuckled. That's a good name and hopefully it will stand as a beacon strength for years to come, just like Naruto was for this village and the bridge, said Tsunami to Leaf Village. Team 7 made it back to Leaf Village. Kakashi told they would need give the Hokage a report of the mission. When they got there, Kakashi gave the Hokage a report of the mission. Naruto was asked by Hiruzen about his change of appearance and his sword. Naruto didn't give an answer. Kakashi continued with the report. Sasuke and Hiruzen were surprised to hear Naruto had ice release. After the briefing, the Hokage dismissed Team 7. Kakashi stayed. Kakashi, is there something important you want to discuss? Hiruzen, it's about Naruto. Kakashi. Do you think him changing could be a bad thing? Hiruzen, he killed those men with no hesitation. The old Naruto would never do something like that. Kakashi, that could be a bad thing. Naruto has always been a kind child who wouldn't wish death even upon his enemies. Hiruzen, I hope that he doesn't snap on the villagers. Kakashi, we can only hope. Hiruzen. Kakashi left. Hiruzen sighed before continued with his paperwork. 1 month later. Naruto and Sakura came across Konohamaru, who asked if Sakura was Naruto's girlfriend. Naruto and Sakura replied no. Konohamaru concluded someone as ugly as her wasn't worthy of his big bro. This made Sakura angry. Naruto told him to run. Konohamaru ran. Sakura chased after him. It grew quiet as Konohamaru fell and looked up to see who or what he has suddenly collided with in his rush to get away from the scary girl. Towering above him was obviously a guy, though they had never seen someone like him around before. He wore a black baggy full bodysuit with a red and yellow circle on the front and divided in half. He also wore a black hood which covered his head completely and had cat-like ears and his forehead protector on his forehead, further showing he wasn't from Konoha. Sporting a triangular face paint design. There was something on his back that looked like a mummy with its hair poking out. Despite the cat ears that might have made a less menacing appearance, the sneer certainly made up for it. Do you need something? The black-clothed boy asked, clearly irritated. Next to him was a slightly older girl, had teal eyes and sandy blonde hair, which is gathered into 4 consecutive pigtails. Her outfit consisted of a single light purple-colored off-the-shoulders garment that extended to halfway down her thighs, with a scarlet sash tied around her waist. In addition to incorporating fishnet worn over her shoulders and legs, specifically on her right calf and her left thigh, she also wore her black forehead protector around her neck. There was something strapped to her back. The others had stopped when they saw what happened. Sakura's anger already forgotten. Without a word, the older boy grabbed Konohamaru by his shirt. So, does this hurt, punk? He questioned with a grin. Put him down, Kankuro, you will get us in trouble. Tamari warned him. Hey, I'm sorry. The whole thing was my fault. Sakura said, quickly trying to defuse the tense situation. This was going to get ugly if nothing was done. She slightly trembled as she watched the two and worried for Konohamaru. Even if he did call her names, he didn't deserve whatever that boy was planning. She couldn't help but wonder who they were. You better take your hands off him, Naruto said in a calm voice. The boy huffed, finding something about all this amusing. We've got a few minutes before he gets here. Let's mess with these punks, huh? The boy asked his companion as he ignored Naruto. Konohamaru groaned as he dangled in the hold of his captor, finally kicking him as he yelled. "Let go of me, you jerk. If you don't, my big bro is gonna mess you up." "You're feisty, but not for long," the boy said as he gripped Konohamaru's shirt tighter and causing the little boy pain. "I told you put him down," Naruto said as he glared at him. The boy chuckled at this. His smile left his face as Naruto flash stepped in front of him. "He's fast," Kankuro and Tamari thought, shocked. "I warned you, didn't I?" Naruto said as he placed Heinrich on Kankuro's throat. Kankuro felt his body freezing. "My body is freezing. What is going on?" Kankuro thought. Kankuro's grip on Konohamaru loosened, letting him go. Konohamaru moved away from him. "I told you my big bro is gonna get you, Konohamaru. Konohamaru, go home," Naruto said, still choking Kankuro. "Okay, big bro," Konohamaru said before leaving. Tamari stood still as her brother was dot. "Why isn't he moving?" Tamari thought. After a few seconds, Naruto took Hyadu's away from Kankuro's throat. He warned Nadim to do something stupid again. Kankuro regained his composure, then pulled off what looked to be a mummy of his back. "Kankuro, back off," a low cold voice ordered. The boy had fair skin, turquoise eyes, and short auburn hair that was spiky. He lacked distinctive pupils or eyebrows and had black rings around his eyes, the kanji for love on the left side of his forehead, which his hair is parted in order for it to be kept visible. Ren wondered if it was a tattoo. He wore a black bodysuit with an open neck, t-shirt-like sleeves, and almost full-length leggings. With this, he wore a white cloth over his right shoulder and the left side of his hips. He had a wide leather band from his left shoulder to his right hip, with which he carried a larger gourd than the ones the other team of 3 carried, and around which he wrapped his forehead protector. Showing he was from the same village as Catboy, now known as Kankuro, and his female teammate. "You're an embarrassment to our village," the boy with flaming hair continued. Kankuro looked like he was about to break into a nervous sweat when he looked up into the tree and saw his teammate. Nervously smiled as he greeted him. Hey Gar. Irideed, now known as Gar, just looked at Kankuro without a word. Glancing at Naruto before looking back at Kankuro to scold him further. "Have you forgotten the reason we came all the way here?" Kankuro quickly returned the mysterious crow back to his back as he tried to make excuses. "I know, I mean they started the whole thing, really. See, here's what happened." Kankuro stumbled over his words. His tone was far more respectful than the way he talked to Naruto or anyone else. Was it respect or fear that caused this? Gaara had to be younger than Kankuro by at least a few years. "Shut up," Gaara ordered. "Or I'll kill you." Gaara finished with a dark, gravely voice that promised Kankuro a world of hurt, narrowing his eyes at the older boy. Kankuro was practically cowering in his fear as an obvious fake smile attempted to hide this and his cold fear. Defeated by mere words and pure intimidation. "Ah, right. I was totally out of line. I'm sorry, Gaara. I was totally out of line." Kankuro swiftly agreed. Gaara turned his head to address the others. "I'm sorry for any trouble he caused." He apologized. Almost as if Kankuro was his cat that was loose in someone's house making a mess. "It's alright, just remember the next time I won't be so kind. Naruto. Let's go. We didn't come here to play games." Gaara coldly told his teammates. Alright, sure, I get it, Kankuro." The shinobi of the sand then began walking away, Gaara in front with Kankuro and the girl following a few paces behind on either side, giving their leader space. Before any of them could get far, an annoying high-pitched voice called out to them. "Hold on." Gaara's team didn't look like they had any intention to stop. This made Sakura insist further, with a louder voice. "Hey." This time, she was able to get their attention, as they all stopped in their tracks. They kept their backs to them as Tamari answered her with annoyance in her voice. "What? I can tell from your headband that you come from the village hidden in the sand. I know that we're allies, but no shinobi is allowed in another's village without permission. So state your purpose and it better be good," Sakura said, slightly beginning to act all superior to them. All 3 of the sand shinobi turned to look at Sakura. The girl that spoke before, who seemed to have taken responsibility for answering Sakura's constant questions, answered once again. The annoyance from before wasn't fading a bit from her voice as it was now laced with disbelief. "Really, have you guys been living under a rock or what? You don't know what's going on, do you?" The girl then took out her ninja identification passport and Chunin admission pass. "We have permission." "Of course you're correct, we are Hidden Sand Genin, our home is the land of the wind, and we're here for the Chunin exams. Get the picture?" Sakura gritted her teeth in rage. The sand siblings turned to walk. Just then, Sasuke appeared. "Hey, you, identify yourself." Turning around with a smile and a light blush, a complete 180 in her personality from what they had seen earlier, Tamari asked. You mean me? No, him, Sasuke pointed to Gaara, the guy with the gourd on his back. The girl turned back to look at Gaara as he turned around and looked at Sasuke. My name is Gaara of the desert. I'm curious about you too. Who are you? I am Sasuke Uchiha. Sasuke. What's your name? Gaara asked Naruto. Naruto Hitsugaya. Naruto. Hitsugaya Sakura and Sasuke thought. I looked forward to facing you both in the Chunin exams. Gaara. The sand team disappeared. Things are getting interesting. Sasuke thought. From a tree watching this encounter. What do you think, Dosu? Zaku. That white-haired boy, the Uchiha boy and the desert rat may be worthy opponents. Dosu. But the Hokage. Jonin and Chunin were gathered in his office. It's time we choose the candidates for the Chunin examinations. To begin, will those in charge of the rookie Genin step forward? Hiruzen. Kakashi, Kurenai and Asuma stepped forward. Kakashi, Kurenai and Asuma. What do say, are there any in your squads you would recommend? Who are ready for the exams despite their inexperience? As you know, any Genin who has completed over 8 or more missions is technically eligible for the examinations. Beyond that, only you can decide when they are ready. Of course, most Genin require a much longer training period. At twice that many missions. Hiruzen. There's no need to say all this. It's way too soon for their squad, Iruka thought. So Kakashi, you begin. Hiruzen. I lead squad 7. Sasuke Uchiha, Naruto Uzumaki and Sakura Haruno. I recommend them all for the Chunin examinations. Kakashi. And my squad number is 8. Hinata Hyuga, Shino Aburam and Kiba Inuzuka. I Kurenai you here recommend all 3. Kurenai. My squad number 10. Ino Yamanaka, Shikamaru Nara and Choji Akimichi. I Asuma Sarutobi recommend all 3. Asuma. They all rookies, it's still too early for them. Random Jonin. It doesn't make any sense. Hold on a second. Iruka. Yes, what is it, Iruka? Hiruzen. Lord Hokage. With all respect. All of the 9 names just given were my students at the academy. I know their skills and abilities. Every one of them has great promise, but it is too soon. They need more experience before they are tested. If they try now, they are sure to fail the exam. Iruka. When I became a Chunin, I was 6 years younger than Naruto. Kakashi. He is nothing like you. Are you trying to destroy him? Iruka. Well, they are always complaining about not being challenged enough. Maybe wiping out on the exams will teach them a lesson. A little pain is good. Kakashi. What did you say? Iruka. Oh, nothing fatal of course, but seriously, Iruka, relax. Listen, I understand how you feel, it's very personal for you, and it upsets you. Alright Kakashi, back off, you said enough. Kurenai. On the contrary, Kurenai, Iruka needs to hear this. He needs to realize they are not his students anymore. They are mine. Kakashi. Enough already. Asuma. Kurenai's eyes. But these exams could destroy them. You know that. Iruka. Iruka, you made your point. Hiruzen. Lord Hokage. Iruka. Like Kakashi said, you no longer their teacher. So all you can do now is believe in them to succeed. Hiruzen. Iruka clenched his fist. 2 days later. Kakashi got his team together and showed up on time for once, probably to avoid pissing off Sakura. They were standing on a small bridge. I know this is a bit sudden, but I recommended you for the Chunin exams. These are the application forms. Kakashi said as he showed the forms. Application forms. Sakura. You are repeating me, Sakura. This is all voluntary. It's up to all of you. If you don't feel ready, you can wait till next year. Whoever wants to take the exams. Sign the application and come to room 301 at the academy. It's at 3 p.m. 5 days from now. Kakashi said before handing them the forms. 3 days later. Naruto met up with Sasuke and Sakura along his walk to the academy, so they all went together. When they arrived on the 2nd floor, they saw Rock Lee being beaten up by 2 guards. Suddenly a punch was aimed at Tenten. Naruto appeared in an instant and blocked the punch aimed at her. Sasuke walked up with Sakura close behind and said, drop the genjutsu, it's pathetic. Most were wondering what Sasuke was talking about until the guard spoke up, so you saw through the genjutsu, huh? The guard charged Sasuke, while Sasuke begun to swing a kick. And an instantly appeared between both and stopped them with his hands. That's some chakra he's got in his arm, thought Sasuke. What are you doing? Aren't you the one who said we should hide our true strength, Lee? Said Neji, a boy who had piercing wide eyes with a slight lavender tint to them, while walking up to Lee. The boy had noticeably long, black hair which reached the middle of his back and was tied back a few inches above the end, while 2 straps attached to a smaller headband underneath his ninja forehead protector framed the sides of his face. He had very fair skin, and he also wore a black headband that he wore snugly over his forehead. He wore a khaki shirt, dark brown shorts, and blue shinobi sandals. He also had bandages wrapped around his right arm, chest, and right leg. Sorry but Lee broke off and looked at Sakura and then blushed. My name is Rock Lee. You are Sakura right? Please be my girlfriend, I vow to protect you with my life. Lee said to Sakura. Definitely no. Sakura said. Why? Lee. Because you are weirdo. Sakura. Lee got a little sad hearing this. Naruto laughed. Hey you, what is your name? Neji said to Sasuke. It is common courtesy to give your own name before asking someone else's. Sasuke. Hey you are a rookie aren't you? How old are you? Neji. I am not obliged to answer that. Sasuke. What's that? Neji. Hey Sasuke, Naruto, come on, let's go. Sakura. After she said that, they went to walk to the examination room. But they were stopped by Lee. Hey you with the attitude, hold on. Lee said to Sasuke. What do you want? Sasuke. I want to fight right here and right now. Lee. You want to fight me here and now? Sasuke. Yes. My name is Rock Lee. As you said, it is common courtesy for a challenger to give his name first. Sasuke Uchiha. Lee. So you know me? Sasuke. I challenge you. Everyone is always talking about the Uchiha clan and how great they are. I want to see if it is true for me. And also Sakura, I love you. Lee. No, I would never love someone like you. Those eyebrows of yours are gross. Sakura screamed. Lee felt a little sad. You have heard of the Uchiha clan and yet you are challenging me. You must be even more psycho than you look. If that is possible. You want to know more about my clan, then I will teach you the hard way. Sasuke. Bring it on. Lee said. Excellent, a match up against the number 1 rookie. I will draw him out and get him to reveal his technique and I will prove myself to you guys, sensei. Lee thought. Okay, let's fight. Sasuke. You should take this serious. I am currently the strongest genin in the leaf. Lee. Finally interested, Sasuke accepts his challenge and attacks. He's instantly met with Lee's leaf whirlwind and goes flying backwards. Getting back up, Sasuke prepares, resorting to his Sharingan. He tried to figure out Lee's technique. This is futile, and as Lee explains, it's because his techniques are neither ninjutsu or genjutsu, but mere taijutsu. With hand-to-hand combat, the Sharingan isn't helpful. Even if he can see the techniques, one's body cannot move fast enough to react. Lee uses the shadow of the dancing leaf to kick off his next move in order to finish off Sasuke, but a large turtle stops him before he carries this out. The turtle seemingly reprimands Lee for using a forbidden technique, leaving Team 7 to think the turtle is Lee's sensei. Might Guy, his actual sensei, appears on top of the turtle and punches Lee across the face as punishment, proceeding to hug him and cry afterward. Team 7 are dumbstruck and Sasuke can't believe he was beaten by what he perceives as a freak. Guy asks the team how his eternal rival, Kakashi, is doing. He's ahead in their match record, which stands at 50 wins and 49 losses. Guy also says that he is much faster and stronger than Kakashi. He demonstrates his speed as he appeared in front of them in an instant. When Guy leaves, Lee confesses that he is not the strongest genin. Neji Hyuga, his teammate, is. Sasuke wondered why he lost to Lee. Naruto told Sasuke why he lost, saying that Lee obviously trains harder than him. In the end, the team focused their attention on the Chunin exams. After the fight, the Team 7 and Team Guy headed to room 301, where the first phase of the Chunin exam would be held. When they got there they were greeted by Kiba. So once again the rookies are together again. Hi Akamaru, said Kiba. Ino hugged Sasuke from behind, causing Sakura to begin yelling at her, and this kept up for a while. So troublesome, said the familiar voice of Shikamaru with Choji close behind munching on chips. Well Shikamaru, I didn't expect to see you here. Isn't this too much work for you? Asked Naruto, half joking half surprised. Yeah, but Asuma made us, so here we are. Yo, you look different now Naruto, replied Shikamaru, sounding very bored. Wait, that is Naruto. Kiba and Ino pointed to Naruto. Hinata blushed. You guys might want to keep it down, you're attracting a lot of attention, said a boy with black eyes with gray hair kept in a ponytail wearing circular glasses. He also wore a dark purple shirt with a white undershirt and a white sash around his waist worn at an angle, dark purple pants, blue sandals, and a shuriken holster on his right leg. Who are you? Asked Sasuke. Me? I'm Kabuto Yakushi. You must be the rookie genin, he stated. Yeah, we are, replied Sasuke. Well, maybe I can help you out then, said Kabuto, who then proceeded to talk about who came to the exams and what generally happened, as well as his 7-in-a-row streak of failure and finally his ninja info cards. He still insults the Sound Village. Show me what you have on Gaara of the Desert, Rock Lee and Naruto Uzumaki, said Sasuke. Okay, first up Gaara of the Desert. His teammates are Tamari and Kankuro of the Desert, who are also his siblings, and it says here he has completed 8 C ranks and a B rank without getting a single scratch. In fact, he has never been injured. The Genin were stunned until Kabuto moved on. Rock Lee teammates Neji, Hyuga and Tenten, Sensei Might Guy. His taijutsu has increased dramatically over the past 12 months, but the rest of his skills are virtually non-existent. He has completed 20 D ranks and 11 C ranks. Just as Kabuto was about to read Naruto's info, the card froze in his hand. They looked at Naruto to see he had Heimerunmeru in his hand. It's rude to share someone's information without their permission. Naruto. He froze the card. So his appearance is not the only thing that's changed. Shikamaru thought. Naruto and Shikamaru grew suspicious of Kabuto. Because he had classified information that only a Kage would have access to. "Hey, that guy called us little," said one of the Sound Genin. He had spiky dark hair and dark eyes. He wore a beige shirt with 2 black stripes and 3 prints which said death down the front. His forehead protector had a face guard. As with his teammates, he wore a snake patterned scarf around his neck. "Well, let's teach him a lesson," said the other Sound Genin. He had bandages covering most of his face, leaving only his left eye uncovered. He also wore a large poncho with long sleeves, a snake-patterned scarf around his neck, and a straw raincoat protruding from the back of his scarf. His back was hunched, which made him look smaller than he actually was. The sound team dashed around the room before the one who spoke first threw a kunai at Kabuto, who jumped back to avoid them. However, in an instant the Genin, who looked like a mummy, revealed a gauntlet with holes in it and swung his fist, barely missing Kabuto. Kabuto stood up and then his glasses broke. "Oh, I see, it was that kind of an attack," he said, taking off his glasses. However, something else was happening and he clutched his stomach in pain, coughing up blood. "Kabuto, are you alright?" asked Sakura. "Put this in your information. The Genin of the sound will all be Chunin when this exam is over," said the sound ninja who threw the kunai. Before anything else could happen, a puff of smoke popped up from the front of the classroom as a rough man's voice barked out orders to them. "Alright, you baby-faced degenerates. Pipe down and listen up." As the smoke cleared, in front of a group of other ninja was a man with a large, imposing figure, which he complements with a rugged head and face covered with old wounds and the 2 scars along his face. His head was covered by his forehead protector. He wore a darker version of the standard uniform of the intelligence division, along with a black trench coat and gloves. "It's time to begin. I am Ibiki Marino, your proctor, and from this moment, your worst enemy." He smirked. "Our youthful students should be taking the first part of the exam by now," Guy said with enthusiasm. "Huh? You say something, Guy?" Kakashi responded in a dull tone. "Ah. Curse you and your hip attitude, Kakashi," the green beast said back. Asuma and Kurenai just looked at this familiar scene with amusement. The 4 Jonin were lounging around, watching the exam from a monitor. "How about we make a little friendly wager?" Asuma asked, interrupting Guy's ranting, making the other 3 Jonin look at him with interest. "What kind of wager?" Kurenai asked curiously. "The wager about which of our Genin teams will do the best in the Chunin exams," Asuma explained with a grin. "The most youthful idea, I wager 5,000 ryo on my students." Guy eagerly agreed. "I'll join in on that. 5,000 ryo on my team, well, Naruto and Sasuke at least," Kakashi said lazily. Sakura had been improving lately, but she had been so far behind that if the other 2 weren't so strong, he would never have considered letting them participate in the exam. "As expected from my eternal rival. I'll put 5,000 ryo on my team, though I think only Shikamaru is going to make it to the finals." Asuma joined in with a bet of his own. There was silence for a while before Asuma spoke up again. "Aren't you going to bet on your team, Kurenai?" "Well, I'll bet 5,000 ryo anyway. I'd feel like a terrible teacher if I didn't have any faith in my team. I'm pretty sure that at least one of them will make it to the finals at least." Naruto stared at the questions on the written test in front of him. He didn't know the answer to any of them. After the scarred man had introduced himself as Marino Ibiki, the proctor of the first phase of the exam, he had told them the rules for this test and left them to sweat over the ridiculously hard questions. Naruto had been suspicious ever since he had heard that getting caught cheating would only cost them 2 points, and now seeing the 2 hard test only solidified that impression. "We have to cheat," Naruto thought. Now the problem was how exactly he could cheat. He had no bloodlines that he could use to gather information, and he didn't have any other tricks he could use either. Getting caught cheating will result in the loss of 2 points. As long as he only got caught cheating once, then it didn't matter how obvious he was, as long as he got all the answers in one try. The white-haired boy scoped out the other Genin to see who seemed to be filling out the test with the most competence. Several people appeared to have caught on already and were busily writing answers onto their tests. Who are they copying it from? Naruto spotted the Chunin that were disguised as Genin. He surmised that they were planted so that there was someone to cheat off of. Naruto smirked to himself. Naruto decided to take a short nap. He would wait for the planted Chunin to fill out the test and then make his move. He never noticed Hinata next to him looking over at him with curiosity. She would have been worried, but the white-haired boy looked so utterly unconcerned that she could only deduce that he had a plan. At the front of the classroom, Ibiki looked over at the white-haired as well. He had no idea what the former Shinigami captain was playing at, but he looked cooler than an iceberg, all the stress that the others were under not even touching him. At the 40-minute mark, Naruto's eyes opened and he stood up, catching the attention of everyone that saw him. Ibiki didn't say anything as they vanished. He appeared behind one of the planted Chunin. The Chunin himself hadn't seen the boy move as Naruto had been sitting behind him. The fist thundered into the Chunin without warning, knocking him out immediately. Naruto calmly took the test back to his seat, erased a name and replaced it with his own, leaving the entire room gaping at him. "Not very subtle of you, Uzumaki," Ibiki commented dryly. "It's a good thing that I don't need to be subtle then, as long as I only do it once," Naruto countered. "True enough," Ibiki agreed. "Just in case anyone has any ideas about imitating that stunt, I will fail you." "Why the hell does he get away with it and we can't?" Genin burst out angrily. "Because he had the stones to come up with it himself instead of just copying what someone else did. Now no more questions," Ibiki barked. Naruto went back to relaxing for the last few minutes before the time came for the final question. "There's a special rule for the 10th question," Ibiki spoke ominously. "Special rule?" someone asked. "You must choose whether to take the question or not." "What happens if we don't take it?" Tamari asked. "Then you and your team immediately fail the test," Ibiki answered with a smirk. "What kind of stupid rule is that?" "Of course we're gonna take the question then," came the grumbles from the gathered genin. "The reason for the rule is because if you get the question wrong, then you will never be allowed to participate in the Chunin exam again," the scarred proctor said with finality. "That's bullshit, there are people here who have taken the exam before," Kiba burst out. "Well then you're just unlucky, because this time I make the rules," Ibiki said with a sinister chuckle. "Now choose, those of you who don't want to take the question, raise your hands." After several tense minutes, someone broke and raised his hand, apologizing to his teammates. This started a flood of people raising their hands and giving up. Naruto looked completely unconcerned. He very much doubted that Ibiki had the authority to prevent Genin from ever again participating in the Chunin exam. It would in fact possibly be in his best interest to stay a Genin. That way he could keep gaining power without being bogged down by extra responsibility. Ibiki looked over at the white-haired Uzumaki. His unbreakable calm was bolstering the courage of those around him and keeping them from giving up. "What about you, Uzumaki? You won't be able to punch someone to get the answer to the last question." Naruto opened his eyes and met the dark gaze of the scarred proctor. "Then I'll kick someone instead." Ibiki couldn't help but chuckle at the answer. "It's not gonna be that easy. Are you really going to risk staying a genin for the rest of your career as a shinobi on the off chance that you can get around the rules like that again? I really don't give a damn what rank I am, so this attempt to scare me is pretty pointless. Besides, I don't believe for a second that you have the authority to keep someone a genin forever, especially those who aren't even from Konoha." Naruto replied. Ibiki resisted the urge to frown. His attempt to psyche up the boy had backfired on him. Instead of making more people quit, it seemed that the Uzumaki's calm attitude had settled the nerves of the whole room. "I guess there's no use dragging it out any further then. Very well then. Everyone in this room passes the first phase of the exam." The expected pandemonium broke out, with indignant people demanding to know if the previous 9 questions were all pointless then. Everyone calmed down once they heard the explanation about how Chunin often had to make decisions without proper information, and that those who didn't have the courage to even risk their rank wouldn't have the courage to risk their lives. Ibiki had just covered up his extensively scarred head and given a short lecture on the importance of information when a black blur smashed through a window. The blur turned out to be a Kenweichi wrapped in a banner, which she pinned to the wall with kunai by way of introduction and posed in front of it. "Proctor of the second exam, the sexy and single Mitarashi Onko," was written boldly on the banner, with a woman in question standing in front of it. Most of the genin were gawking at her stupidly, still stunned by the spectacular entrance, and several were staring due to her barely covered assets. "You're early, again," said Ibiki. Onko blushed in embarrassment. She then looked around before speaking. "How many are there?" "Ibiki, you let all these guys pass. Your test was too easy, you must be getting soft. Or it could be a stronger group of candidates this year," replied Ibiki. "Trust me, when I'm through with them, more than half will be eliminated," Onko said with a sadistic smirk. "More than half?" asked Sakura fearfully. "Oh right, meet me at training ground 44 tomorrow, ask your sensei for directions if you don't know where it is," the perplet said and jumped out the broken window. Next day. The gathered genin were looking at the freakishly large forest that was marked as the 44th training ground. Welcome to Training Ground 44, also called the Forest of Death, Anko said with relish, enjoying the scared looks that some of the genin were sporting. This sure is a creepy place. Sakura said nervously. You will be able to experience why this place is called the Forest of Death, Anko continued with a smile. Naruto scoffed at her. This irritated Anko a little. The kunai whizzed at Naruto. If left alone it would have cut his cheek open, but it was instead caught in his hand. Anko suddenly appeared behind him with another kunai in her hand drifting towards his cheek. Tough guys like you tend to die in there, she whispered hotly in his ear, cutting into his cheek with the kunai. She was shocked when Naruto vanished. The snake mistress suddenly found a blade on her neck. If you value your life then refrain from doing something like that again. Naruto Anko felt her body freezing. That's some weapon you got there Anko. Naruto removed the blade from her neck and strapped his zanpakuto. The other genin looked at him with interest. The boy paid them no mind. Interesting, Anko thought. Anko explained the second test. Later, Naruto had decided to hunt scrolls on his own, which he obtained easily. The genin were fodder compared to the former captain. Naruto had sensed a sinister chakra near his teammates. He quickly made his way to his teammates. The white-haired boy arrived to see Sasuke unconscious and Sakura looking at their adversary with a scared expression. So you finally arrived. As much as would love to test you, I think we should save that for another time. Orochimaru chicken are we? It's alright, go ahead, run away with your tail tucked between your legs. Naruto said mockingly. Naruto, don't antagonize him. He is not someone you can handle. Sakura. I would listen to your teammate if I were you. Orochimaru. Hiding behind a girl because you scared. You truly are strong. Naruto said with sarcasm, you brat. If that's how you want I will be sure to send you to your grave. Orochimaru. Naruto created a clone. The clone flashed away with his teammates. The tension in the air was thick, a clash of two formidable warriors was bound to happen. Naruto Uzumaki Hitsugaya, the young but powerful former captain of the 10th Division of the Soul Society, found himself facing off against Orochimaru, the cunning and treacherous legendary Sannin of Konoha. Naruto stood stoically with his Zanpakuto, Orochimaru, gleaming in the sunlight, his icy blue eyes locked on his opponent. Orochimaru, with his serpentine eyes and menacing smirk, coiled his long pale arms, readying himself for the battle ahead. The clash began with Hitsugaya unleashing a flurry of ice shards towards Orochimaru, who effortlessly dodged and countered with a barrage of snakes that slithered towards the Soul Reaper. Naruto swiftly moved, using his mastery of Shunpo to evade the serpents and close the distance between them. As Orochimaru clashed with Orochimaru's Kusanagi sword, the two combatants exchanged blows that shook the very foundations of the battlefield. Hitsugaya's ice-based attacks clashed with Orochimaru's jutsu, creating a spectacle of elemental. The battle raged on, each warrior seemingly evenly matched in skill and power. Naruto's holding back, your arrogance wasn't just for show. You are certainly interesting. Orochimaru. Naruto unleashed a blizzard of ice and snow that threatened to engulf Orochimaru, only for the Sannin to counter with a powerful fire jutsu. As the clash reached its climax, Naruto unleashed his ultimate technique, Tenso Jurin, encasing Orochimaru in an unbreakable prison of ice. Orochimaru dissolved into mud. Orochimaru weaves hand signs and summons multiple poisonous snakes. Naruto unleashes a devastating attack, Hayaten Hayakaso. The blinding light of the attack illuminated the battlefield as ice and snow enveloped Orochimaru and his snakes, freezing him in a moment of defeat. With a sigh, Naruto stood amidst a frozen landscape, his breath hanging in the air as he observed his fallen opponent. The battle was over. Anko arrived at the scene. Just who is this kid? Anko thought. How? Anko. How would Naruto? Did you defeat Orochimaru? Anko. Simple, I froze him. Naruto. With a flick of his wrist, Naruto swung his Zanpakuto, producing a flying slash, slashing the ice prison. The ice shattered into shards around them. Naruto goes to his team. As Naruto picked up Sasuke, he noticed that Sasuke was burning up with a fever. Take him to a hospital. Naruto said, throwing Sasuke towards Anko. Anko catches the boy and noticed that he has a curse mark. That bastard. He was after the Uchiha. Anko thought. As Naruto picked up Sakura. Where are you going? Anko. I am going to the tower. Naruto. You do know that you need the Uchiha to clear the test. Anko. Won't you make an exception just this once, Proctor? Naruto. Anko decided to let it slide. Fine, just go. Tell the one who gets summoned. I gave the go-ahead. Anko said before disappearing. But that Naruto vanished with Sakura. With his Shunpo he was able to make it to the tower quickly. When he opened both scrolls, Iruka appeared. Naruto, what happened to Sakura and where's Sasuke? Iruka. Naruto gives Iruka a brief explanation of the events. Iruka was relieved to hear that his student survived the encounter with Orochimaru. He prayed that Sasuke would be alright. Naruto advanced into the tower. He placed Sakura in a chair. Few hours later. When Sakura woke up, she asked what happened after she blackout. Naruto keeps his explanation short. He defeated Orochimaru and Sasuke was rushed to the hospital. Sakura was shocked to hear Naruto defeated Orochimaru. Like Iruka, she also hoped Sasuke would be alright. The Sand team arrives minutes later. After them, the Stone team arrive. Kitsuchi and her teammates eye Naruto and Gaara, seeing them as worthy adversaries. The Cloud team arrived after them. Yujito Nai glanced at her fellow Jinchuriki. "I hope we get to fight," Yujito thought. Anko reported to Hiruzen about Sasuke receiving the curse mark. Hiruzen frowned at this. She also gives him the news of Orochimaru's defeat. Hiruzen's eyes widened in shock at the mention of Naruto's name. The young boy, a mere participant in the Chunin exams, had managed to overcome one of the legendary Sannin, a feat that seemed almost impossible to comprehend. The implications of Orochimaru's defeat sent a ripple of disbelief through the Hokage's mind, his thoughts racing as he struggled to come to terms with the news. "Naruto?" Hiruzen repeated. "Are you certain, Anko?" Anko nodded solemnly, her expression serious as she confirmed the veracity of her report. "Yes, Hokage-sama," she replied. "I witnessed him deliver the final blow." Hiruzen's mind raced as he tried to make sense of the situation. Orochimaru, one of the most feared and respected shinobi in the world, had met his match in a young boy who had barely begun to scratch the surface of his potential. The implications of Naruto's victory were staggering, raising questions about the true extent of his abilities. "Just how strong are you, Naruto?" Hiruzen thought. 4 days later. Kabuto was unable to contact Orochimaru. He suspected something happened to him. The second phase of the exams was over. The teams assembled in the Chunin exam stadium. The Hokage stood in front of the Genin with their Jonin senseis behind him. He told them that the Chunin exam served the purpose of not only testing ninja, but also of moderating the levels of the ninja in each nation, as well as developing friendship. "Just tell me the details of the exam, I can handle anything you can throw at me," said Gaara when the Hokage finished speaking and answering other questions. "Very well, I will now tell you exactly what the details of the third exam are," said the Hokage. Just then Hade appeared bowing in front of the Hokage and asked him if he could speak first, to which the Hokage obliged. Hade explained that they needed to hold a preliminary as there were too many people, which was met with cries of outrage, but he justified it by talking about the fact that many important nobles and feudal lords would be coming to see them and they didn't want to waste their time and that they were only looking for the best of the best shinobi. "The preliminaries will begin immediately. If any of you aren't in top physical condition, now is the time to quit," said Hade. Kabuto gave up, but no one else did. Sakura wanted Sasuke too, but he told her that the only reason he fights is to test himself and that all the best are here. Now, the preliminaries will follow sudden death elimination of one-on-one matches, with only the winner moving on to the third exam. As for the rules, there are none. You will fight until one dies or concedes defeat or is rendered physically incapable of continuing. Naturally, those who are losing are encouraged to quit to avoid having a fatal outcome. Also, as proctor, I will intervene if the situation seems hopeless to save as many lives as possible. "Now we will see what fate is in store for you," said Hade. Anko spoke a command and a panel on the back wall diagonal from the hands opened, revealing a screen. The panel you see will give the names of the 2 competitors who are chosen completely at random. "I guess there is nothing more to say, so let's begin," concluded Hade. The screen begun going through names and landed on Akatsuchi vs Choji. Choji wasn't motivated to fight. That changed when Asuma said he would take him to the Akiniku. This motivated the boy. Akatsuchi and Choji go down to the arena. The spectators looked at the upcoming battle with interest. Kitsuchi and NPC teammate had full confidence in Akatsuchi's abilities. With a determined look in his eyes, Choji wasted no time, launching himself forward with impressive speed for his size. He aimed a powerful punch towards Akatsuchi, who braced himself and countered with a swift block, showcasing his immense strength. Choji grunted as the force of Akatsuchi's block sent him staggering backward. As the battle intensified, Akatsuchi gathered earth chakra, forming a sturdy defensive barrier around himself. Choji, undeterred, activated his expansion jutsu, causing his body to grow larger and more formidable. Choji charged forward, his massive form barreling towards Akatsuchi with unstoppable force. Akatsuchi braced himself, using his earth barrier to withstand the impact of Choji's attack. "Impressive, Choji, but you'll need more than size to defeat me," Akatsuchi grunted as he pushed against Choji's expanding form, his strength matched only by the Akamichi clan members' determination. With their respective jutsu neutralized, Choji and Akatsuchi engaged in a fierce taijutsu battle. Their fists collided with force, each blow sending shockwaves rippling through the arena. Choji unleashed a barrage of punches and kicks, his movement surprisingly agile for someone of his size. Akatsuchi countered with precise strikes, utilizing his strength and speed to keep pace with his opponent. The two shinobi traded blows relentlessly, their determination driving them forward despite the fatigue setting in. As the battle raged on, Choji and Akatsuchi exchanged one final, decisive clash. With a mighty roar, Choji unleashed his most powerful expansion jutsu yet, his massive form towering over the arena. But Akatsuchi remained unfazed, his resolve unwavering as he braced himself against Choji's onslaught. With a swift, well-placed strike, he delivered a devastating blow to Choji's exposed flank, with his earth technique sending the Akamichi crashing to the ground in defeat. As the dust settled and the crowd erupted into cheers, Akatsuchi stood victorious, his strength and skill earning him the respect of his opponent and the admiration of the spectators. Team 10 smiled at Choji. Even though he didn't win, he gave it his all. Next. Tamari vs Kitsuchi. The battlefield crackled with tension as Tamari, the mistress of wind-style jutsu, faced off against Kitsuchi, the wielder of the deadly lava-style Kekkei Genkai. With a nod of determination, they prepared to engage in a battle that would test their skills to the limit. Tamari wasted no time, swiftly unfurling her giant folding fan and channeling her chakra to conjure powerful gusts of wind. Whirlwind spiraled towards Kitsuchi, aiming to disrupt her footing and create openings for Tamari's attacks. But Kitsuchi was ready. With a deft motion, she unleashed a torrent of molten lava, the intense heat melting the ground beneath Tamari's feet and forcing her to leap back to avoid being scorched. The battlefield erupted into chaos as Tamari dodged and weaved through Kitsuchi's relentless assault, her fan deflecting streams of molten rock with expert precision. Seeing an opening, Tamari launched a barrage of wind blades towards Kitsuchi, aiming to catch her off guard. But Kitsuchi remained unfazed, using her earth-style techniques to create barriers and obstacles that deflected Tamari's projectiles and closed the distance between them. With a fierce battle cry, Kitsuchi surged forward, her fists wreathed in searing flames as she unleashed a barrage of lava-infused taijutsu strikes. Tamari fought back with all her might, using her fan to deflect Kitsuchi's blows and create gusts of wind that pushed her opponent back. As the battle raged on, the two kunoichi matched each other blow for blow, their skills and determination pushing them to their limits. The ground trembled beneath their feet as they clashed, each refusing to back down in the face of overwhelming odds. But in the end, it was Kitsuchi who emerged victorious, her mastery of the deadly lava-style Kekkei Genkai proving to be too much for Tamari to overcome. With a solemn nod of respect, Tamari acknowledged her defeat, knowing that she had faced a truly formidable opponent in Kitsuchi. Following Choji's defeat, Team 10 regrouped in the stands. As they watched Choji come back, Asuma, Shikamaru, and Ino couldn't help but feel impressed by the tenacity he had shown against a formidable opponent like Akatsuchi. As Choji approached, trying to mask his exhaustion with a forced smile, Ino was the first to break the silence. "Choji, you were amazing out there. I honestly didn't know you had it in you to fight like that." Choji looked a bit embarrassed but pleased by the compliment. "Thanks, Ino. I just did what I had to do." Shikamaru, hands in his pockets, glanced over with his usual lazy gaze, but with a small, approving nod. "Yeah, you did more than just do what you had to do. Honestly, I always knew you had the potential. It seems like the only thing that can really motivate you is the promise of a good meal afterward, though." The group chuckled together, lightening the mood after the intense battle. Choji, not missing a beat, grinned and rubbed the back of his neck. "Well, you're not wrong there, Shikamaru. Thinking about that Barbek-sensei promise did give me an extra push." Asuma, standing a bit to the side with his arms crossed, smiled warmly at his student. The pride evident in his voice, he added, "You should be proud. Choji, you showed great courage and strength. That's what being a shinobi is all about. Each battle, win or lose, makes you stronger." "Thanks, Sensei Choji." Kurenai smiled warmly at Choji as they approached. "That was a tough match, Choji. You showed impressive resilience out there. Well done." Kiba, ever the boisterous one, punched Choji lightly on the shoulder, a big grin on his face. "Yeah, man, you were like a wild beast. That move when you almost turned the tables was awesome. You really gave him a run for his money." Hinata, with her gentle demeanor, nodded in agreement, her voice soft but encouraging. "You were very strong, Choji-kun. Your fighting spirit, it was inspiring to watch. You've grown so much." Shino, typically reserved and always observing, added in his low, even tone, "Indeed, your tactical use of the expansion jutsu under pressure was quite effective. It's clear you've been working hard on your techniques." The members of Team 10 listened to the praises from Team 8, visibly brightening Choji's spirits. His earlier disappointment began to fade as the affirmation from his peers sunk in, reinforcing the sense of accomplishment he felt despite the loss. Ino, seeing the effect the encouragement had on Choji, spoke up, playfully nudging him. "See, Choji. What did we tell you? Everyone thinks you did great." Choji, finally allowing himself a broad smile, looked around at all his friends and teammates, feeling a renewed sense of pride and motivation. "Thanks, everyone. I guess I did okay, huh? Next time, I'll do even better." Hiruzen Tsurutobi, the venerable third Hokage, sat perched high above the arena, his keen eyes following every movement in the match between Choji Akimichi and Akatsuchi from the hidden stone. As the dust settled and the crowd's cheers ebbed away, he leaned back in his seat, thoughtful, his gaze lingering on the field below. Choji Hiruzen mused silently, "You've certainly surpassed what many expected of you today. To think, the gentle boy who once hesitated to hurt a fly has now grown into a shinobi who can stand his ground in the face of daunting strength. You've shown not just physical growth, but a commendable increase in courage and determination." His thoughts turned then to Akatsuchi, observing the hidden stone shinobi as he accepted his victory with humility. "And you, Akatsuchi, have proven yourself to be a formidable opponent. Your control over earth release and your tactics were remarkable. It's clear you've been well trained. Iowa should be proud to have such a shinobi among their ranks." After Tamari's match. As Kankuro watched his sister Tamari exit the arena, his expression was a blend of frustration and concern. That was a tough break for Tamari, Kankuro thought, his brows furrowing as he replayed the moments of the battle in his mind. Lava release is a brutal element to counter, especially with wind. Wind typically amplifies fire, and combining that with earth just creates a nightmare scenario for Tamari. Her wind techniques, although powerful and precise, only exacerbated the destructive capacity of Kuretsuchi's lava. He glanced over at his sister, who was trying to mask her disappointment with a composed facade. Kankuro knew better. She did what she could, but sometimes the matchups are just stacked against you. It's not just about skill or power, it's about compatibility of styles. And today, the odds were not in her favor. His thoughts wandered to the nature of the exams. These exams, they're supposed to test us, push our limits. But they also expose us to the sheer variety of jutsu out there. Sometimes, like today, you realize just how varied and unpredictable the shinobi world can be. Kankuro's hand instinctively moved to adjust the strap of his puppet scroll, a habit when deep in thought. If it had been me, with my puppets, maybe the range could have offered something different against Kuretsuchi. But that's the nature of these battles. Always wondering what if. Kankuro clapped his sister on the back when she rejoined them. "Tough match, Tamari. But you held your own out there against a tough style. Next time, they won't stand a chance." His words were meant to reassure, to reignite her fighting spirit, knowing well the resilience that defined both her character and their family. Tamari smiled at him. Ara looked at Kuretsuchi with interest. The board went through the names again. Kiba vs Neji. Kiba looked at the Hyuga with a smirk. Neji ignored his glance and made his way to the arena. Neji's wishes him good luck, which responded to that he doesn't need it, Kiba is fated to lose. Kiba's team offer him words of encouragement. He made his way to the arena. Neji stood confidently across from Kiba, his eyes ablaze with arrogance. "Kiba, your fate is already sealed. You're destined to lose against me," he declared with a hint of arrogance. Kiba's expression hardened as he glanced at his faithful companion, Akamaru, by his side. "Talk is cheap, Neji. Let's see if your skills match your words," he retorted, his tone resolute. With a smirk, Neji assumed his gentle fist stance, ready to demonstrate his superiority. "Allow me to show you the difference in our strength," he replied, his confidence unwavering. Without further hesitation, Kiba and Akamaru leaped into action. Kiba darted towards Neji with incredible speed, his tunneling fang technique unleashed with ferocity. Neji calmly assessed the incoming attack, his Byakugan analyzing Kiba's movements with precision. As Kiba's assault closed in, Neji's dodge. With remarkable speed, Neji went on the offensive. They initiated a taijutsu battle. Neji countered Kiba's attacks, deflecting them with expert precision. Each blow was met with a calculated counterattack, as Neji exploited openings in Kiba's defense with pinpoint accuracy. Kiba gritted his teeth, his determination unwavering despite Neji's formidable defense. With a swift signal to Akamaru, they coordinated their next move, launching a barrage of feints and strikes in rapid succession. Neji found himself momentarily overwhelmed by their synchronized assault, but he quickly regained his composure. As Akamaru joined the fray, transforming into a man-beast clone, Neji adjusted his tactics accordingly. His Byakugan allowed him to perceive the subtle shifts in chakra, enabling him to anticipate their movements and react with lightning-fast reflexes. With each exchange, Neji matched Kiba and Akamaru blow for blow, his relentless barrage of strikes keeping them on the defensive. Despite their combined efforts, Kiba and Akamaru struggled to gain the upper hand against Neji's unwavering resolve and formidable skill. As Kiba and Akamaru unleashed their fang-over-fang technique, Neji's keen eyes tracked the rapid rotations with precision. With calculated movements, he skillfully dodged and deflected each ferocious blow, his mastery of the gentle fist taijutsu allowing him to counter Kiba's attacks with ease. With Kiba and Akamaru momentarily stunned by his relentless assault, Neji seized the opportunity to execute his move. With swift and precise movements, he closed the distance between them, his Byakugan eyes honing in on Kiba's chakra points with surgical precision. With a series of well-placed strikes, Neji targeted and sealed Kiba's chakra points, effectively immobilizing him and neutralizing his ability to fight back. Kiba's movements faltered as his chakra flow was disrupted, leaving him unable to muster the strength to continue the battle. With Kiba incapacitated and unable to provide support, Neji swiftly turned his attention to Akamaru. Despite the pup's fierce determination, Neji's superior speed and precision allowed him to evade Akamaru's attacks with ease. With calculated strikes, Neji targeted Akamaru's chakra points, disrupting his movements and immobilizing him. The pup fought valiantly, but against Neji's unmatched skill, he stood little chance. "I told you were fated to lose." Neji smirked as he gazed upon his fallen opponent. Kiba glared at him. "Hey," declared Neji the winner. "Don't beat yourself up too much, Kiba. You tried your best, Kurin, I thought." Others praised Kiba's efforts. Although they meant nothing in the face of the Hyuga prodigy. Anada was torn up between feeling bad for Kiba and happy for Neji. The medics came and took Kiba and Akamaru. The board went through names again. Lee vs Amoy. This is it, Lee thought. My chance to prove myself, to show everyone what I'm capable of. Go show them the power of your youth. Guy said as he gave his student a thumbs up. Yes, Guy-sensei Lee. As the anticipation built up, Amoy paced back and forth, his mind buzzing with thoughts and predictions. With a hint of frustration in his voice, he muttered to himself, the student of the green beast of Konoha, he looks just like a copy of Might Guy. With a furrowed brow, Amoy continued his train of thought, trying to anticipate Lee's next move. Which means he will probably rely heavily on taijutsu, he mused aloud. But as he considered the possibilities, Amoy couldn't shake the feeling of uncertainty gnawing at the back of his mind. But what if there's more to him than meets the eye? He thought, a note of caution creeping into his tone. As Amoy's thoughts drifted into a whirlwind of analysis and anticipation, his teammate Carrie couldn't help but grow impatient. With a sharp edge to her voice, she interrupted his train of thought, snapping, "Amoy, shut up and go fight him." Startled by the sudden interruption, he blinked in surprise, taken aback by Carrie's abruptness. Realizing the urgency of the situation, Amoy nodded in acknowledgement. "Right," he replied, his voice firm and decisive. "I'm ready. Just do your best. And don't overthink things. Yujito." "I will try, Amoy." As the match began, Lee wasted no time, darting forward with blinding speed. His fists blurred as he unleashed a flurry of rapid punches, aiming to overwhelm Amoy with his relentless assault. Amoy, however, remained calm, sidestepping Lee's strikes. With a swift movement, Amoy drew his blade and infused it with crackling lightning chakra, parrying Lee's blows with expert precision. Lee, undeterred, pressed on, his determination unyielding. He leaped into the air, aiming a devastating kick at Amoy's head, but the lightning wielder anticipated the attack. With a deft maneuver, Amoy countered, slashing his blade through the air with electrifying speed. He narrowly missed Lee's leg. The crowd gasped as Lee landed gracefully, his resolve unwavering. Amoy found himself caught up in the intensity of the moment, his analytical mind racing to dissect Lee's taijutsu skills. His footwork is impressive, his speed and the strength of his blows are also impressive, Amoy muttered aloud, his thoughts spilling out unintentionally for all to hear. Perry, Amoy's teammate from the hidden cloud village, shot him a sharp glance, her patience wearing thin. "Amoy, shut up and focus," she snapped, her voice cutting through the chaos of the battlefield. "Save the analysis for later. Right now, you need to win this." Knocked out his thoughts, Amoy decided to put his analysis to practical use and emerge victorious against his opponent. Amoy went through hand seals, unleashing a barrage of lightning release techniques, sending crackling bolts of electricity hurtling towards Lee from all directions. Lee evaded the attacks, but the onslaught was relentless. Sweat dripped down Lee's brows as he faced the barrage head-on. With a fierce determination burning in his eyes, he gathered his strength and focused his chakra. In a flash of green light, he unleashed the power of the 8 gates, his speed and power skyrocketing to unimaginable heights. The arena trembled as Lee charged forward, his movements a blur of motion. Amoy braced himself, gripping his blade tightly as he prepared for the onslaught. He quickly enhanced himself with lightning. With a thunderous clash, the two shinobi collided, the fierce clash of steel echoing throughout the arena. With expert precision, he parried Lee's blows, his swordsmanship proving to be a formidable defense against Lee's relentless assault. As the battle raged on, Amoy's keen intellect came into play. Sensing an opportunity, he created lightning clones to flank Lee from all sides, adding another layer of complexity to the fight. Lee, however, remained undeterred, his focus unwavering as he faced the onslaught head-on. With a sudden burst of speed, Lee unleashed the Leaf Hurricane, his spinning kick cutting through the air with deadly precision. But Amoy was ready, his lightning-infused blade intercepting Lee's attack with lightning-fast reflexes. With a swift hand seal, Amoy unleashed a barrage of lightning release techniques, creating a dazzling display of crackling electricity. Lee dodged and weaved through the storm of lightning, his movements a testament to his incredible agility and reflexes. As the battle reached its climax, Lee made his move, opening the fourth and fifth of the 8 gates. With a surge of power, his speed and strength increased exponentially, overwhelming Amoy with sheer force. Lee summoned his remaining strength and unleashed the Reverse Lotus, his final desperate attack. With a mighty roar, he launched himself at Amoy with all his might, his determination shining through. As Lee's Reverse Lotus connected with what he thought was Amoy, he felt a surge of satisfaction coursing through him, believing victory was within reach. However, his triumph quickly turned to shock as the figure before him dissolved into a log, revealing it to be a mere substitution. Before Lee could react, a sudden jolt of electricity surged through the air, and he sensed Amoy's presence behind him. With lightning-fast reflexes, Lee turned to face his opponent, but it was too late. Amoy was already upon him. Lightning release. Electromagnetic murder, Amoy said as he created a wave of electricity from his hands. The intense shock overwhelmed Lee's senses, leaving him momentarily paralyzed as the electricity surged through his body. As the electricity faded and Lee crumpled to the ground, the arena fell silent, the outcome of the battle now clear. Amoy stood victorious, his intelligence, swordsmanship, and mastery of lightning release techniques proving to be a formidable combination. Amoy bent to Lee and offered him a handshake. "That was good match. It could have gone either way. Amoy. I hope we get to fight again," Lee said, shaking his hand. PBC. 7 more battles to go excluding Sakura vs Ino. Shikamaru will automatically pass due to Sakura and Ino's draw. How very fortunate for the lazy Nara.